What's up? It's Monday, October 28th, episode 149 of the Chasing Points podcast. We are here. Happy Monday. Harrison, Sam, with you today. What's up, Harrison? How are you?
Nothing much. We're missing Hayes today, but I think me and you can hold it down. First time ever we've just done us as a duo, so
This is
kind of
so
just
fun.
looking forward to it. Other than when like Hayes drops out all the time because his connection, but this will be good. Yeah,
those are always memorable to the people that watch on the stream, I'm sure. But here we are, a busy week 8 in the NFL. Not done yet, but we'll recap what's going on from there. The Yankees are in the World Series. That's fun.
They are.
Yankees aren't doing too great in the World Series.
They are not
fun.
Not fun.
And basketball is in full swing too. We'll get into all of that. But like anything, like every NFL week, we'll start with our dubs and our L's. Harrison, you have the floor, my friend. Go ahead.
So it's really only right to start with the Hail Maryland. Big win for the Commanders in a primetime matchup that thankfully Jaden Daniels played in. We were waiting all week to see if we would get the Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams matchup, and we did. What really showed out, though, was the defenses. Pretty low-scoring game. Jaden was making some plays. Caleb made some plays late, and both looked, like rookie quarterbacks, but good rookie quarterbacks, and they were kind of doing their thing. So Bears scored late, and then Commanders marched down the field, sort of get to kind of the halfway point, and then the rest is history. Chuck it up. You got a Bears defender talking shit to the fans in the background, not paying attention. Goes in, tries to tap it away. Of course, it hits his hand, and then bounces in the back of the end zone. Or the front of the end zone because Jaden Daniels couldn't get it that far, and the Commanders walk away with the win, which was just insanity. I was locked in watching it live the whole time, and when he caught it, I was surprised that it was so open and it just landed in his hands. I was surprised. I'm like, did that just happen? Who was on offense? I was very confused for a second. I was like, oh my God, like they just won the game like that. So
Yeah, I mean, Hail Marys are great, but I said this earlier today on a phone call at work. We were talking about it, and I was like, it was like scripted like a Disney movie kind of thing. Like it just, of course, like bounced out of the hands of the guy who was talking trash, running down, like wasn't even ready when the ball was snapped. And landed it was Noah Brown, right? Into his hands, just completely wide open, alone in the end zone. It's literally like a Disney movie kind of thing there, but hell absolutely. Of a way to win a game. And the same on the other end. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. I'm used to this kind of losing, and we'll get to that on its own, but hate to lose a game that way. And I was asleep. I fell asleep putting my son to bed. And I woke up to your text messages like, oh, my God, did you just see that? And I didn't see it live. And like many people, I'm sure, just turned it off at, after that go-ahead touchdown. And that was it. But hell of a way to lose a game.
It was looking very bleak for the Commanders. And obviously, the probably surprise play of the year when something like that happens. So really fun game to watch. And Commanders just keep rolling. First in the NFC East still. And they're just a really, really solid football team with a very good quarterback.
Yeah, just continuing to just surprise everyone, not just in the NFC East, but in football. Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury, they deserve a lot of credit there too. The defense is holding its own too, and they've had a tough schedule, and they've played really well. We talked about that Ravens game a couple weeks ago, and just hell of a performance this year. And it happens every year. These teams are a little bit more ready than I guess we want to think they are. But for a rookie quarterback to make the leaps that Jaden has is incredible to see.
Absolutely.
I have for my first dub here is the Lions. They put up 52 on the Titans. And I know we've kind of been bashing the Titans all year. I think the defense is pretty good in general. 52-14, but Jared Goff didn't have to do much, but I think they scored, throw a bunch of touchdowns. Yeah.
I think they scored 42 points before Jared Goff crossed the 30-yard passing mark. That's an insane stat that I saw. Yeah,
I had to look at the stat line where he has 3 TDs and 85 passing yards, and this is like just a Madden. You're playing in rookie mode or something on Madden, and you're just 3 plays a drive, if that. You're just getting in the end zone. I know Jahmyr Gibbs just ran all over the place. Sam Laporta had a big day too. National Tight End Day is a thing. But this line seems really good, and they just have one loss in a really tough division. They're a lot of fun to watch, and again, I know it's a Titans, but this team, I think this defense is a little bit better than this, or had been playing a little bit better than this, and this is not the result you want if you're a Titans fan, but this is a Lions podcast, and we do like this Lions team. So
yeah, they're looking like the best team in the NFC just because of their point margin and all that type of stuff. But yeah, with the 2-headed monster, who they're calling Sonic and Knuckles, Gibbs and Montgomery, that's fantastic. And they just keep winning. My concern with them early in the year was they played a lot of close games the last couple of years. And, sometimes you feel like those will shake out differently because, law averages, but they're not even playing close games now. So they are, they're truly good. And yeah, they are a Super Bowl contender for sure.
Yeah. Losing Hutchinson is awful. And I know there's been a lot of rumors about what they're going to do on the, pass rush side of the ball here, but it's not slowing them down right now, and that schedule's been really favorable to him. I know we talked in the preseason. Jared Goff barely plays outside this year, and that's not a bad thing there. You have your cards, hell of a game here. Yep. Cardiac cards, as you called them yesterday.
Yeah, that's second game in a row. They've won off a game-winning field goal. Kyler continues to get the ball back late and drive down the field and put the team in position to win. That's 2 in a row for them after getting absolutely smacked by the Packers. They have the Bears, Jets, and Seahawks next, and they're sitting atop of the NFC West, right with the Rams, who Rams looked dead a couple weeks ago, but both teams 4-4. Niners are still right there. Seahawks are still right there. So it's going to be a division where, a 9 or 10 win team makes it out of there, maybe even 8. But yeah, they're right in the mix of it. They're playing well offensively. Defensively, they're still questionable for me. But we'll see how they do going forward. But, I'm happy for the cards. My cardiac cards.
Cardiac cards. I think Brandon skipped this podcast on purpose.
I think so.
Just kidding. I mentioned it before, National Tight End Day. I think the last Sunday of October is deemed National Tight End Day by George Kittle and company, who came up with this ridiculous holiday. And I love it. I'm here for it. Record-setting day in NFL history, and it just so happened to be National Tight End Day. 16 touchdowns, 177 catches. That's a reception record for a tight end in a single, week of play here, and most tight ends touchdowns ever on National Tight End Day, 16. So, everyone woke up. Even Travis Kelce got his first receiving touchdown. Just a big day across the board there. So love it. So about time. If you play fantasy football like Harrison and I do, tight end has been a hodgepodge of like, who are you going to start and is this going to work? And good to see some life in the position.
Yeah, it's been a pretty rough year for tight ends and the numbers wise. So good day for them. Good day for the tight end.
We'll take it. And your boy Trey McBride, one of my favorite
he's playing well.
Players for sure. Yeah. Love it. You have someone who's not playing too well, and the first couple weeks of the season looked like they were going to take this division easily in the NFC South, but here are the New Orleans Saints. How many games in a row have they lost now? 6, 5, or 6?
We've got 6.
Been a struggle.
We're up to 6 now. They do have the Panthers next week, so they may be able to get back on track there. But 6 in a row is really tough. Not scoring more than 3 points in a single quarter is really tough. They had, a safety in the first quarter, and then field goals in the second and third, and then a goose egg in the last quarter. Chargers are a decent team, but not a team that you should be kind of getting blown out in the games out of hand early against, in my opinion. So, yeah, the Spencer Rattler experiment hasn't been working out too well. Obviously, he's young, and we're going to give him time. Kamara's kind of made his way back down to earth, and they're just not getting any production out of pretty much anyone else. So it's been a tough go for the New Orleans Saints. Yeah,
not playing well in a division that, especially you're going to play at the pace you were the first couple of weeks of the season. Pretty easy to contend with the Bucs there to take that division, but hasn't. Or I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the Falcons too.
Falcons, yeah,
playing really well too. So, it's fallen away from them in New Orleans, and we'll see what that leads to. But losing Rashid Shaheed too, that's a big loss, and some other pieces as well. But
we're probably getting to the point where I retire them from the L section, because it's really just piling on at this point. But
yeah,
I'm running out of teams to give L's to that are just the Jaguars and the Browns and the Raiders. I mean, it's getting the top is kind of differentiating from itself, and the bottom is looking like the bottom. So we'll see how many middle level teams crack in there next week. But running out of teams to give L's to.
Yeah, speaking of a team to give L's to, or running, not wanting to, I'm done with this next team, and no surprise here, the New York Football Jets.
Unbelievable.
Crazy stat via Rich Cimini of ESPN New York, and Harrison shared this with me. Jets had no turnovers, held the Patriots to under 250 yards, and they still lost. They're the first team to lose a game in which they did not turn the ball over and held their opponents under that yardage since week 3 of 2012. That was Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They lost that game. So, look, I wasn't on the pod last week, and then the Devontae Adams thing all happened. I wish I could be naive enough to be like, okay, we fixed everything. It's just there's so much dysfunction in this team. We could see it. They're not set like pre-snap. There's some limitations there, and I texted my friends yesterday, and I said, next time, I don't ever let me get high on this team again. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm not done, but like, I should know better. And I know I kind of had this tone to begin the year, where last year I was drinking, by the end of the preseason Hard Knocks, I was drinking the Kool-Aid and then crashed down to earth. I was a little bit more realistic about this season for my football team. And I've seen enough, man. I don't know how this gets fixed, and especially in just the teams that are really good, and the teams that are really bad. And I take this approach playing fantasy sports and dynasty leagues. You either want to be at the top or at the bottom. I know you can't tell a group of grown men that play football to lose or anything like that, but they're not playing better. They're not getting better, and it's frustrating. So, I haven't thrown up the white towel, but I'm not letting it bother me as much as it has previously, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of talked about it ad nauseum last week when you weren't around, and Hayes made me the representative Jet fan. And I just echoed that this team is just so flat, and it's really hard to buy in and get excited about watching them at all. Like, everything about them, watching them play, is just painful, really. It just seems like a slog getting through all these games. I picked them this week against the Patriots because it's the Patriots, and Hayes said, what are you going to do when they lose? And I'm like, nothing. Like, I haven't expected anything from this team. I've not gotten high on them, same as you. It's just same old Jets kind of stuff. And they look not like a cohesive unit, and it's disappointing. But, we've come to expect it, which is sad.
Yeah, I think we really just need to hang that L up in the rafters there and move on from these Jets. And Hayes isn't here to do it to the Cowboys, but you are, Harrison. So
Yeah,
Cowboys cop
yeah,
the L this week.
yeah. We're just going to pile onto the Cowboys. Another week against a 49ers team that is missing a good amount of weapons. Debo went out late in the game. Cowboys showed some life in coming back, but the game was really out of reach early. And then they just decided to give their fans some fool's gold at the end, getting kind of a second life, so to speak, at their own 30-yard line, and proceeded to just go 4 and out, like bad pass, bad pass, bad pass, bad pass. So, Dak has come up clutch in some of those moments. Yesterday was not one of them. And they just look pretty inept all across the board. Their running game is absolutely atrocious. We've talked about it ad nauseum. They're just not getting any type of production out of Dalvin Cook now and Ezekiel Elliott, and we'll see who they bring in next off the waiver wire that can kind of maybe run the ball for 3 yards. But yeah, it's really bad for the Cowboys. We talked 2 weeks ago about who's going to be the basement in the NFC East. Would it be the Cowboys and Giants? And I said push. You guys picked the Giants, and I still don't quite know. Both these teams are pretty bad, and yeah, we're probably at the point where I retire them from the L section, and I'm going to run out of teams. So we're just going to hand out dubs all week. Yeah,
all dubs. Hey, all dubs. I love the optimism. Yeah, my Cowboys not making the playoffs pick looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good,
but still a lot of football to play.
No, I think you'll be safe on that one.
Yeah, I was trying to segue to the Bengals, who are 3-5. They took the loss to the Eagles here. So as much as, and I've been if you listen to this podcast a lot, I really like this Bengals team, and I like a lot of the players on this team. And I think Joe Burrow after the game was like, we need to basically win out or whatever. And they have the right attitude here, but it's kind of like, okay. And we talk about this a lot. And I remember having this conversation about the Lakers pretty much every year. And I think it was the season before they made all of those big moves at the deadline. It's like, okay, well, at some point you got to do it. Yeah. Like at some point you need to apply what these changes and play better football. And I mean, the Eagles, this isn't as much, the Eagles they played the way that I think, we thought they can play. And they've had their moments throughout the season too, but they're 5-2. And I know the Bengals have had a really tough schedule if you look at just the teams and the situations they've been in, but they're not performing. They're not performing well at all. And, something's kind of got to give here. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and next thing you know, you're, at the bottom of a really good division. So it's kind of a mess there in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, next 4 are really make or break for them. You got the Raiders next week. You have to take care of business there. Then you got at Ravens, at Chargers versus Steelers. So you get 2 divisional games in there. Still life, but it's like a flickering light at the end of the tunnel. So, yeah, if they can find some way to rattle off 3 wins out of those next 4, we could be talking about them kind of in the mix for the AFC North. If Baltimore, who took a really tough L yesterday, kind of falters a little bit, but yeah, it's looking bleak for them, but they still have a little chance.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to count out a team with the players on it like Correct. Cincinnati, but again, we're running out of season here, and these teams are differentiating themselves and pulling apart from the pack here, and the Bengals are on the other side of that. So that's a mess there. I also wanted to pick the Rams as a winner, even though that game was on Thursday. It's nice to see Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back, and I'm sure Matt Stafford, who doubled his touchdowns that he had all season in that game alone. It's good, and there's some life there to the Rams. You mentioned they're tied for first place in the West there, so that's surprising, and it just kind of shows that anything can happen any given Sunday, or Thursday. But yeah, here we go. The Vikings got their first loss. You have an off-subject L which I love, and we'll dive into a little bit later.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when I saw you post this. You wanna tease it for a little later?
We'll just say statue. Okay. We'll go with that. Yeah. We'll tease it.
You're not talking about Aaron Rodgers behind the line of scrimmage, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Something else.
Very, very similar. Yeah.
Fair.
Very ugly and very similar.
Yeah. So this is usually where we do Brandon's power rankings. Brandon's not here, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
He's going to love this. No, but at 5, we have the Packers. He had them at 5 last week too. So here's a team that, again, has been playing really well. Who knows how long they've lost Jordan Love now. We've seen it work with Malik Willis and what Matt LaFleur is capable of doing and running an offense here. So, it's not over, but tied here at 5. Team's playing really well. Brennan has a tie for 4.
That's a very Homer thing of him with that one. I'm going to be completely honest.
His Eagles and the Commanders both tied there at 4.
Yeah,
that's fun. He didn't have either team in there last week. Ravens at 3. They were 3rd last week as well. We had a tough loss, as you mentioned, but still, I think we all probably agree there that the Ravens are more of the top of the AFC than anywhere else. Lions, as we mentioned, at 2. He had them at 2 last week, and Chiefs number 1 beat the Raiders 27-20 yesterday as well. So still undefeated, the only undefeated team left in the league. So totally makes sense there. So hopefully I did that segment justice.
I just have one qualm. I'll text him later. Okay. But how are the Bills not in there? 6-2. I mean, you got an Eagles team that's 5-2. I just, that's my one qualm. And then to bounce the Viking, I guess Packers beat the Vikings. So yeah, okay, we're cool.
That's fine. I feel like, I mean, Brandon talks a lot about the expectations he has for Josh Allen and not really meeting it, but I feel like the team has had a pretty balanced approach here, not really getting Amari Cooper up to speed yet, but still a great addition and something I think we'd all agree they needed. Just that dominant X receiver.
Yeah. They've just been solid. They've played a weaker schedule. Their 2 losses are against the Ravens and the Texans, but wins against the Cards, Dolphins, Jaguars, Jets, Titans, Seahawks. So I could see why they're not in there, but just being 6-2 above a 5-2 team would be where I would pick some nits.
Yeah, that's fair. There you go. But here's something you have complete control over, Harrison. Your powerless rankings. This is, we're right up to Monday Night Football here, so we will not count the great Monday Night Football matchup tonight of the Giants and the Steelers. So,
I didn't have the Giants in there last week yet, but they could get close. But so right now, this was a tough week because like some of these bad teams actually won games. Like the Browns won a game. The Patriots won a game. So Patriots are not in this. They get an honorable mention, but they also beat a bad team. So we got the Browns at 28, Raiders at 29, Jaguars at 30, Titans at 31, and leading, or I guess it's not leading the pack, the Panthers are at 32. They're at a minus 147 point differential. So I wanted to look this up, and worst point differential of all time. And that happens to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976 with minus 287 point differential. So the chase is on. We'll see if they can get there.
They wear the creamsicles that year. They probably.
I'm sure.
76.
So the race to minus 287. That's what I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year.
There you go, fans of the Panthers. There's something to root for. Man, what a mess! And the first thing I knew before the game started yesterday that I think if the draft was yesterday, the Patriots would have the first pick, and now they're third. But I think it's a tie between the Panthers or the Browns right now, and then Jets Patriots I think is the bottom 4 in the draft there. But speaking of just records here.
Shout out Jameis. Shout out Jameis Winston. First
Jameis is a national treasure, man.
National treasure. If I can binge Jameis post game, pre game, quotes all day long. The guy is just absolutely, probably not even unintentionally hilarious anymore. He's just hilarious, and he has a good time, and I really enjoy Jameis Winston.
Yeah, anytime he does or says something ridiculous, which is usually, all the time, and then my Instagram feed is just filled with old Jameis Winston content, and I was just laughing hysterically this morning at all the my body. It hurts. It's everywhere. Like it's just, he's a treasure, man. There's no name. There's no name. My favorite
from the back was play for the name on the back and the logo on your helmet. Well, we don't have logos. No decals. So play for the Browns. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Someone needs to do a TED Talk kind of thing. Just get Jameis up on stage, motivating people. It would be awesome to watch.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
great stuff.
And look, there's some life in this Cleveland team who again had a nice win against the Ravens. There can't beat that. There.
No,
speaking of records here, these are Week 8 records before Monday Night Football, of course. So Brandon again on his heater. He went 11-4, and we both went 10-5. So I'm sure there's some decisions there. Looking back, I'd like to take back as usual, but here we are for the season. I have 80 wins. Brandon has 75, and Harrison, are you just playing a little too cute here? You got 69 wins now. Kind of, you were leading the
Yeah, I'm sure. I have regret. I have regret. I live with regret, but I can still catch up, maybe, but probably not. But we're gonna try.
Hey, anything's possible.
It's possible,
right?
Yeah.
To fly through our Week 9 picks here too. For next week, 49ers and the Steelers both on buys there. Harrison, I'll run through this and just stop me if you want to throw something in there. Thursday Night Football on Halloween. It's going to be scary at the Meadowlands. Texans and the Jets. All three of us have the Texans here. Cowboys at the Falcons. We all have the Falcons. Dolphins at the Bills. We all have the Bills. The Raiders visit Cincinnati. We're all picking Cincinnati here. And Chargers at the Browns. Despite my love for Jameis, I do have a love for Justin Herbert, even though he is not vintage Justin Herbert, and he doesn't need to be in this offense, but maybe he does. I don't know. Brandon and I have the Chargers here. You have the Browns.
Yeah, the next two picks kind of are just going off wins. I think the Browns maybe have some good vibes. Their defense has been good this year. Their defense has been very good. They're home. Let's see if Jameis can back up what he did this last week.
Yeah. Love it. We'll hope to get more sound bites here too. Yeah.
We'll see.
Again, I don't have much. I think for the ones that we don't have a lot of conviction for, it's kind of like just a toss up. And
I got to play some catch up too. So I do need to do some different stuff than you guys. So we'll see.
Patriots at Titans. You and I have the Patriots. Hayes has the Titans. I can't pick them based on just that loss that I just was so excited about the Lions winning here. Commanders go to the Meadowlands here, and we all have them beating the Giants.
Yeah, it's a rematch, so we get a second time around the division. Commanders won the first time, but looked very different. Like back early in the season, I don't think they scored a touchdown. I think it was all field goals that game, which was very fun. So I think the Commanders are a bit different team at this point. So I don't see them losing to the Giants, and neither do any of us. So, yep.
Yeah, I'll take that. Well, Commanders, we all have the Saints who visit Carolina here. Who knows who will be quarterback? Andy Dalton did not get the start. Sounds like he's okay from a car accident with his family, but we got the Bryce Young experience yesterday, and that's it.
That's it.
Broncos.
That's it. It was an experience. Yeah.
Broncos at Ravens. I almost picked the Broncos as a winner here. They've been that defense. We've kind of been talking about that defense all year, and just again, Bo Nix is playing really good, really smart football, and it's the perfect kind of quarterback for what Sean Payton wants to do. And that said, the Ravens are the Ravens, and I still think they're one of the best teams in football, and I'm going to go that route.
Yeah,
You
I
and Hayes
agree.
agree.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely almost picked the Broncos as well. I just think the Ravens. I think they're just a better team, and they really do need to win here. I mean, if the Steelers are able to win tonight and take kind of a 2-game lead in the division, um, it's tough to make up games like that, even though you do have a lot of divisional games left. But yeah, I think they're just the better team. But the Broncos are scary. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Some discrepancy here. Brandon has America's bird, Jaguars at the Eagles. I have the Greenbirds. You have the Eagles. So we all have the Eagles taking care of business against their old head coach, Doug Peterson there. Bears at Cardinals. Surprise, surprise. Hayes and I have the Bears, and you are on Cardinal Island here with your cardiac card. So
I think they're just a better overall team than the Bears. I like Caleb. I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals have played really well at home. And yeah, I got to keep rolling with them.
There you go. A man of his word and conviction. Lions at the Packers here. I have the Lions. I don't think we'll see Jordan Love here. That did tip this, and I don't really have to think about it otherwise. But if he was healthy, I would probably be a little closer here. But we all three of us have the Lions. Sunday Night Football: Rams at Seahawks.
I'm kind of shocked we all have the Rams.
Yeah, I just kind of liked what I saw last week against or Thursday against a real the Vikings didn't just stop playing good football. But it just shows that confidence in Matt Stafford and having 2 top targets back, Kyron Williams, and the team's just playing well. So and the Seahawks have kind of been on a bit of a skid lately, but it's down massive. Back to earth.
This is a massive game. I mean, I misspoke earlier. The Rams are 3-4, so they're right behind 49ers and Seahawks and Cards, who are all 4-4. So every game in this division is going to mean so much, and this one is huge. If the Rams can get to 4 wins, and it's a big one. So I'm excited for that one. I think both teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we all like the Seahawks coming out of the preseason, and kind of we all thought the beginning of the season was a little fool's gold there, but there's certainly talent on both of these rosters. So that'll be a fun Sunday night game. Monday night, Baker Mayfield's getting it done with everyone else but Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I hope they can get back soon, but Monday Night Football, Bucks at Chiefs. That's gonna be a fun game here. We all have the Chiefs, but I don't think this will be anything but a good game.
Same. I wanted to pick the Bucks, but just at Kansas City is a tough one on Monday night. I really am over the moon with what Baker's done this year with all his plethora of receivers. Godwin's out for the year, unfortunately, but Evans can make it back. But to have now he's throwing to Sterling Shepard and McMillan and just some hodgepodge of names. But he still threw he still threw for 380 yesterday. So I still like the offense. It's just tough to go against the Chiefs in Arrowhead with an undefeated Chiefs team. But they're going to catch a loss at some point, and this probably is one of the better chances or the worst chances for the Chiefs to catch that L.
Yeah, only undefeated team left in the NFL there. So we'll see. We both have, for tonight, we both have the Steelers beating the Giants.
Yep.
Even though that was the end of week 8 here. So
end of week 8.
More importantly, I'm not going to watch much of that football game. I will be tuned in as you will, and I know Hayes will, and the rest of our greater New York and whatnot, seeing the Yankees come home down 2-0 against the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani will play. A lot has happened since our last podcast, but here we are. The Dodgers have a 2-game lead in the World Series, and Walker Buehler and Clark Schmidt pitching tonight. So this will be an afterthought by the time you listen to this podcast in the morning, but Harrison, your thoughts of the first couple games of the series, and what do the Yankees need to do? And this is a Yankee podcast. We're not hiding our bias here.
No, not at all.
What do the Yankees need to do, and can they do it, in your opinion?
I want to keep the belief, but after game one, I was pretty despondent in how we kind of threw that game away and how hard it is to recover from something like that. Like a loss like that feels like two losses. And I thought, maybe if they could bounce back in game two and steal one, we'd be right back in it. But being down 2-0 with a loss like game one is really tough. I was pretty pissed at Aaron Boone. I felt like he kind of, Tigers don't change their stripes. And I've been down on Boone basically his whole tenure as the manager. And I never thought we would win anything with him as the manager. So I was like surprised that we won the pennant, happily surprised that we won the pennant. But just very, very disappointed in the decisions. I thought he took Cole out way too early. And then to bring in Nestor, who hasn't pitched in a month, to face Shohei, who he threw a meatball to and Shohei missed it. And then to follow that up with just an absolute meatball right down the middle to Freddie Freeman, who can't even walk, was really, really disappointing. And then, kind of this, looked a little lifeless in game two. Really need Aaron Judge's bat to wake up. Maybe there's some lineup changes, maybe some order changes for tonight. But again, you don't want to panic either because you are home now. So I'm really curious what happens tonight, and I still want to be optimistic, but it's been tough.
Yeah, it's been a mess. Jose Trevino is starting. They did announce the lineup a little bit earlier today.
Okay.
Just looking at it now, Stanton in the 4-hole, Jazz at 5, Volpe's at 6. Yeah,
so they're just keeping.
Yeah, Trevino is basically in Wells' spot, and that's it. I thought pinch hitting for Wells there for Trevino and he just took the first pitch at the end of game 2 there, flew out with the bases loaded. It was kind of like, but yeah. To your point about Boone, and I feel like I've been an Aaron Boone apologist. I liked Girardi. I didn't. This is a long time ago. I didn't. Sure. I understood why you needed to move on from Girardi, and I didn't necessarily not like Boone here, but to the Tigers and Stripes comment I think you nailed it there. Garrett Cole, I know you may be worried about Garrett Cole's elbow. He's found ways to pitch at with a decreased velocity and still be effective. He was rolling pretty much in that game. So this is why you pay Garrett Cole over $30 million a year to do this. And I know you're not worried about, you want to be worried about the rest of the season, but you weren't going to pitch him on short rest. They already said he's not pitching game 4. So what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. I know you want to believe in your guys, and look, we're not in the clubhouse. We're not even in the ballpark. So, but to put Nestor Cortez in, who has been on the IL since the middle of September, has not pitched in professionally, like in a big league game, did not get rehab or anything like that. And he has the task of going up against Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and the rest of that lineup in, the biggest game of his life. I know you want to roll with your guys, but it's not like Tim Hill here wasn't pitching great. I know we talked about it offline, but his numbers this postseason have been great. He's really been a good option out of that pen, a pen that has gotten a little bit deeper, which is great and what you need. But this quick hook for all these teams with their starting pitchers, I understand if it's not your ace. And I thought the Yankees had a pitching advantage just based on all the injuries that the Dodgers have. But it's a mess to the point before. I thought maybe we could wipe it away and start new game 2 here, but that situation got past us too. I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan about Aaron Judge because we wouldn't be in the playoffs without Aaron Judge. We've seen 100%. Not having Aaron Judge in our lineup, what that looks like. But yeah, those numbers are a mess. I was talking to someone about his postseason numbers, and I don't have it in front of me. I should, bad podcasting by me, but just an insane amount of whiffs and just under 200 batting average. And it's kind of like, time that changes. And look, we're both Yankee fans. This happened to us too. I mean, we were up 2004 in the ALCS, up 3 games, just beat down the Red Sox like 19-8 or something like that. And, lost that series, and the Red Sox won the World Series. Look, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I don't have too high hopes. I will say Derek Jeter's throwing out the first pitch tonight.
Okay. Good vibes. Yeah, Dodgers had Ice Cube performing before Game 2, and I was like, we're in trouble. So maybe this is our sign.
Thoughts on Alex Verdugo vibing out to a diss track about New York before Game 2 of the World Series? So I wasn't really listening to the lyrics. And my son was sitting there with me, and I was talking to him about something, and I just look up and Alex Verdugo's like just vibing. Like, I get it, man. Look, he used to play for the Dodgers. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's Ice Cube, but he's dissing any other team but the Dodgers, and you're about to play them. They just spanked you in the night before. It's not the best look there. But
I'm ready.
That could be revisionist history. Turn the page here.
Ready for the Martian next year. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I have neutral feelings about Verdugo. He's had some good moments, some cool moments for the Yankees this year. But yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we've seen enough. Have fun. Yeah. So yeah, good luck, Yankees here. If not,
we'll see. We could be very sad. We could be very sad next week. But yeah, they made it. I don't think I picked them to win the World Series when we did this way, way earlier. So they, winning the pennant is all well and good, trending upwards. I'm not, writing the team off completely for the future. It's just, it doesn't look good right now. And then unfortunately, we'll probably stick with Aaron Boone, which I just am not a fan.
Yeah, I don't really know what you can do when your team made the World Series, and
you can't. You can't. I think
but
we'll have to
see.
If we do want to win a World Series in the new future. Yeah, if we do want to win a World Series in the near future, it's going to be in spite of him, because I think he makes bad decisions, and we've played sloppy baseball all year, really, defensively and all that.
And that's
stuff.
Really defensively, it's been a mess, and on the bases, it's been a mess too. And look, the Dodgers are not here by accident either. They were the best team in baseball this year, record wise, and they have the best some of the best hitters, Hall of Famers in their lineup. We do too, potentially, but here they are. And Ohtani is, I believe he's going to play. Popped his shoulder out, and he popped it right back in. So that's you don't want to wish injury on anyone. I certainly don't. But he's just a unicorn of a player if he's able to just kind of do that. It's wild. But we'll stop talking here, because if it could go one way or the other. But basketball, that's that's fresh. Let's overreact to the first week of the NBA season.
Very much so.
Your thoughts? You have watched more basketball than I have this last couple days here, so I'll let you take the floor here. But thoughts on the beginning of the basketball season?
Yeah, I've watched a few games, not that much. I really haven't gotten into it quite yet. I've been very in tune with the NFL this season, and then baseball with the Yankees. So not a lot of my time devoted to basketball quite yet. We'll wait till kind of November and December to really start locking in. But Celtics, Cavs, Lakers, and Thunder both start 3-0. Celtics, we figured that. Cavs, sure, 3-0 is good. Lakers, very surprising. I've watched a few of their games, and I'm really enjoying what JJ Redick is bringing to the table for them. He looks very confident in the huddle, and the team looks very confident around him. And LeBron is still doing it at age. Is he 30? Is he 40 yet? He might be 40, but at age 40. Age 40, he scored the other night, 16 points in the fourth quarter. Just stupid stuff for his age. And I think it was the last oldest player scored 12 in a game, and he scored 16 in a quarter. So, yeah, unreal stuff. And then the Thunder look super good. I think they'll be top of the West come end of season, and they're just only going to get better. Surprises, we got the Bucks and 76ers starting 1-2. I thought the Bucks would look better, but they haven't quite yet. And then the 76ers, Embiid still hasn't played yet, so the NBA world is questioning what is going on there. I know he wants to load manage, but I feel like that's something you do later in the season. So we'll see when he gets back on the court what the 76ers look like. Tyrese Maxey had 45 the other night, 10 in overtime to get the 76ers their first win. So those two teams should be in the mix in the Eastern Conference, but right now they look a little flat.
Yeah, it's I wasn't very high on the 76ers. I think this whole thing could fall apart pretty easily, even though I do like a lot of the pieces, especially Maxey. Mm-hmm. And yeah, LeBron will be 40 in December. So this is his age 40 season, if you will. Yeah. He says he plans to play 82 games this year. And I think there's something to just the longevity and what he's just able to do at his size and his age and the amount of basketball that he's played, whether it's, carrying teams to finals by himself or, Olympic runs and everything in between. Like, he's played a lot of minutes. I think he leads like the league, like career in minutes played already, but just what he's able to do, it's insane. It's truly insane. And just a testament to his legacy there too.
Yeah, and then when you think about our next bullet point, and we're going to talk about a guy that was his running mate for a while and has been since retired for a couple years now, almost 5 years, or maybe a little longer since Dwayne Wade called it quits. But shout out to Dwayne Wade, but not a shout out to that statue that they unveiled yesterday, which is one of the worst statues I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's
what. How many guesses would it take you to, if you saw that, just the head, how many guesses would it take you to pick out who that is?
That's an excellent exercise because I don't know. I don't know if I would get it if I didn't see Dwayne Wade standing in front of it. And even I know he made the comments like, who is that guy? But I saw him being like, why did the Heat get a statue of Lawrence Fishburne outside the arena? I'm like, oh man. But dude, like, you expect this, and this happened. You expect this with the Washington football team, Dan Snyder, and this awful thing to commemorate Sean Taylor and the legacy of Sean Taylor. Okay, no disrespect to Sean Taylor because he was awesome, and we've shitted on that enough. But that's the Redskin Commander football team. Of like that's Dan Snyder. We expect that, but like Pat Riley signed off on this. Like that's the crazy thing to me. It's like this was signed off by what, like, Heat culture. Like,
yeah, it's really bad.
Did they not have the right light? Like, I don't like. What were they doing, man?
And I guess it goes back. Like, when's the last time we saw a good statue? Like, I mean, they screwed up like Iverson's with the Sixers. It's just bad. I guess it's really hard to do. I guess I should give statue makers more grace, but how do you unveil that? Like, you got to pivot at that point.
Yeah, Kobe one wasn't bad, right? Like,
I've seen that one person. That one is actually really good. That one's really good. Okay. Yeah, good point. Yeah, but it's when you get down to it, and when you like meet with the artist, and then you see it, and you're like, that's not going to work. We got to go back to the drawing board here. It's really bad. I thought Stone Cold Steve Austin was a good one. We got Thanos. There was some wild ones out there, but it does not.
I have to take another look. Yeah,
it does not look like Thanos. Man. Not at all. Not at all.
You know what it reminded me of? Like the movie Elf, where Buddy's dad like just signs off on the creative, like, to go to print, and he wasn't paying attention. The page was just blank, and it went to print because it was approved to go to print that way. Like, did Pat Riley just like
fell asleep at the wheel?
Yeah, just sign off on that. What a mess.
Terrible.
At least there's some levity in it, and whatever. No disrespect to D Wade.
Hopefully it gets like maybe redone. Maybe we have like a statue unveiling, because that one that's a miss.
You'd say they're taking the heat right now?
Oh, dad jokes. We got tons of
There
dad
we
jokes
go.
today. Let's do
Not
it.
enough dad jokes on this dad-only pod
Absolutely.
here, but that's it. We're out of time today, but thank you for listening. Tell your friends. Episode 149 in the book. So for Harrison, my name's Sam. Thank you so much for listening, and till next time. Peace. Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony. Bye.